Good afternoon to all the good viewers of this program. We're going to do part 24 in English, and then we'll do the two Persian programs right after each other after it. Okay, so we're going to go and continue from where we left off. Allow me to share this link in our Telegram for all the people that want to see the program live. I will also have a chance to click on it as well and follow it in YouTube, so that in case if there's any problems, I can help solve that problem for you in an instant. Allow me to share back the material that we were covering and continue with it going forward. As you remember, a few minutes ago, we were talking about where we left off about Ali bin Yahtin and how Ali bin Yahtin was helping commit the Ponzi scheme of money laundering and drugs and everything else for Musa al-Kazim. I mean, the list of crimes this guy did keep going and going and going and going. The guy did so much crimes that, you know, if this guy was living today in any country on this planet, everyone would know about him, and he would be put in that country's most severe prison of all. Like they would not find this guy, you know, that's the type of prison he would be in. All right. He displeased when he knew of there was among the people someone better than he. Oh, Harun was displeased. I mean, he wanted to be number one, folks. He wanted to be number one in everything, you know. Like if Hussein Bolt came along and ran by, he wanted to be faster than him, you know. It would break the legs so the guy won't run. According to the Shias, Harun and Rashid had nothing better to do than to, you know, compete with everybody on everything. You know, he just, the whole world came to a stop, and Harun and Rashid was running around trying to figure out who's better than him in something and try to kill the guy because, you know, the guy was better than him. He had nothing else to do. I mean, the wars he was having with Europe, they don't count. The cities he was building, they don't count. All the good stuff he did, they don't count. The law and order he was trying to put in place, they don't count. Nothing counts. I mean, the guy was just running around looking to see who he can find. He wasn't busy. You all know that. I mean, running a country is, you're not busy when you're running a country. No. Huh? You've all seen Joe Biden. He doesn't run the country. He just goes on vacation. You know, he just gone. You know? He was restless. Yeah, he was very restless. I mean, he was running, walking around, going like, what am I going to do today? There is nothing to do today. Forget about building the cities. Forget about building Mecca. I mean, the guy built you Mecca. He started it. But anyway, he was like, forget about this. It's too much hard work, you know. I'm going to be busy doing nothing today. You know, I'm going to walk the beach. I'm going to look for seashells. I'm going to look at the sky. I want to count the clouds. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to go in the desert. I'm going to look for the little lizards. I'm going to start counting them. You know, I'm just restless. I got to walk around doing something. You know, I can't just, you know, I can't. Yeah, he was restless, very restless. The masses and the popular circles believed that Imam was worthier than him. Which masses? Which popular circles are you talking about? Your own Imam, your Musa said to Harun al-Rashid when he was asked how many followers, you have about 500. Half of them turned out to be his own kids. Huh? And the city that he was living in alone had more than 500 people in it. Who was following him? That now you got the masses and the circles. Huh? Who was there? Like 500 people knew this guy in total. And the rest of the people were like, who is this guy? They found out from when he was caught. You know, oh my God, there was a guy doing all that? No way. And then they had to bring witnesses to testify. Yeah, man, he did it to me. And then the people were, oh my God, this guy did it? He was that evil? is craving after power. Harun wanted power. He wanted all the power. He craved it and lost himself in loving his supreme authority. I think a lot of the people of the time loved his supreme superiority of power. And he was building them cities when they didn't have cities. He was winning in war when they needed him to win in war and get more slaves to do the work for them. And they're Arabs. Until today, they are the same. You go to UAE, United Arab Emirates. Who's doing all the work? Foreigners. Who's sitting on their buttocks? The Arab. You go to Saudi Arabia. Who does all the work? The foreigners. Who's sitting on their butts? The Arabs. You go to Qatar. Who's doing all the work? Foreigners. I mean, they got 3,000 people living in Qatar. And only 600 of them are citizens of Qatar who are Arab. Where are the rest? Foreigners. An Arab won't do nothing on his own. Come on now. You have to be a piss poor Arab country like Yemen, Iraq, piss poor. Then you have to do some work. And even there, you don't do any work. I mean, go and look at all the Yemenis. They all have a big lump of drugs inside their mouth, like this. And you see one side of their cheek is like 5 times the other side. Because they're all on drugs. From the little kid all the way to the elder. They have to use it. I mean, the drug is number one. It comes before your meal. Go look at it. Go do some research. Go to Prophet, YouTube, or Google, and the rest, and ask and say, yeah, they'll tell you the type of drug they use and the whole works. Arab don't want to work. Now they come to the West, it's a different story. Now they have to fall in line. When you go to their countries over there, none of them want to work. Harun al-Rashid had to go and attack and invade and take the people of the Baltics and enslave them into the country so that they can use those males to do the work outside and bring the females to do the work inside. All that Albania and all of that places, yeah, they were the slaves. It continued during the Ottoman and the rest. Yes, if Allah's apostle, Muhammad Ghatam, the human feces, that's what we're talking about, attempted to take such khilafat from him. I mean, the guy's dead. What attempt is he going to make? During his own time, he did become the Khalif. He became the most powerful person. He told people what to do. He said that the dog is a Satan. You have to kill it. He said that the little lizard that comes in your house, the gecko and like all those little ones, you got to kill them all because they apparently had a problem with Abraham. And, the pig, Mr. Piggy, Porky Pig, he's going to get killed too because Jesus is apparently only coming back so they can have a duel. He's going to pull out his gun and the pig can't pull out a gun. Come on. He has hoofs. How is he going to use the gun? So the pig is going to go oink, oink, and then Jesus is going to pull out a gun and go, and then he's going to hit him. That's apparently all Jesus is for. He's going to come back. He didn't die, so he can come back. And then he's going to go to every single piggy and say, Mr. Piggy over there, we're going to have a duel. And then they're going to do a little duel, and he's going to and kill the little piggy. Apparently, that's what Islam teaches. And that's the prophet, that lunatic prophet that teaches this kind of lunacy is going to tell us about how he would take away the Khilafat from Harun al-Rashid if he had come back to life. So he's doing reincarnation. In the eyes of Muslims, they want their prophet to do reincarnation. That's how you get the Ahmadiyya sect. The Ahmadiyya believe that their prophet came back. He became Jesus, and then he became Prophet Muhammad again, and then he turned into Ahmad, the Pakistani, and then, he died. And how did he die? He died doing a number 2 that was very watery, and he had to sit on the little basin that they had for him, and he pushed hard, and he died. Harun severely craved after power. I mean, the guy was the king of the empire. How much power can he crave? He was already at the very top, and he was already at war with other countries. So, how much more power can you give him? He's got ultimate power. Whatever you're trying to say is a lie at this point. I mean, the guy's in position of power. When you're at the position where you're at the top, you don't crave no more because you're already there. What else is there to crave? You crave more when you're at the bottom because you want to get up. It's like the guy who's hungry. He's going to crave food more than the one who's already got a lot to eat, because the guy who's got lots to eat, he's like, well, I'll eat a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this, and I'm good. I got more food. I'm okay. He might eat a lot, but he'll be fine. He's got food. When he goes outside, his stomach will be full. He won't eat again because, in his house, he already ate. It's the one that doesn't have the food that's going to be hungry. Every second he sees somebody with some kind of food, he wants to jump in and have some because he needs it. He wants it. Same with power. You get power when you need it. You want something that you don't have. The guy that doesn't make a lot of money, he wants to make more money because why? He wants to buy a house. He wants to buy a car. He wants to buy this. He wants to do that. He wants to send his kids to college. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. He wants to go for vacations. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. The one that already has it, he doesn't crave it anymore. He already has it. He just enjoys it. I mean, the guy who has a private island, he doesn't crave a private island. He just goes and enjoys his private island. And the guy who has a big car collection and has 100 cars, he doesn't crave cars anymore. He goes and enjoys the car. He bought the ones he likes already. He's not going to go and buy the ones he doesn't like. He already bought the ones he likes. He's just going to go enjoy them. But the one that doesn't have a car will crave wanting a car. You see, so he's wrong when he says, Harun al-Rashid is craving more power. I mean, the guy already has more power. There's nothing more to crave. He will enjoy his power now. It's the one that doesn't have power, like Musa, who's craving power. Harun was alert. He truly was alert. Very, very alert. Harun was alert. Very alert. He went out wearing clothes. I mean, don't think that's a normal thing. No, I mean, you don't go out wearing clothes, do you? Huh? He went out wearing clothes. That has to make the news. Harun went out wearing clothes. I mean, you guys all know. You all live in a nudist beach resort, right? Around the whole world. I mean, you pick any city. It's a nudist beach resort, Like you pick Riyadh. It's a nudist beach resort. You pick Tehran. It's a nudist beach resort, right? You pick Kabul. It's a nudist beach resort. I mean, the guy went out wearing clothes. The decency. This guy. I mean, everyone else is naked and he has clothes on. What's wrong with this guy? Other than his formal ones. What? He's supposed to be a communist, wear one type of clothes? He went out disguising to hear the conversation of the general populace. And you blame him for that? He's serving the public. He's going out, making sure nobody can realize who he is. He's listening to the people so he can find out what he can do for the people. And you find fault with that? I think that's a genius idea. Well, he came to know that the people loved and respected him. Of course they did. They were like, this guy's good, man. He builds for us. I don't know how he figures out what's in our head. I mean, we haven't even said anything to him, and the guy's already gone and done the work. Harun was alert. Of course he was alert. He wasn't on drugs like your imams. Your Musa was on drugs. Your Jafar was on drugs. Your Muhammad Bagher was on drugs. Your Ali Zain al-Abidin was on drugs. Your Hussein was on drugs. Your Hassan was on drugs. Your Ali was on drugs. And your Prophet Qata Muhammad was on more drugs than all of them combined. He was alert. He knew what they were doing. He heard from them saying nothing except that they praised and lauded the work that he did by putting Musa al-Kazim in prison. They were like, that Musa al-Kazim guy, man, it's a good thing he's in prison. I wouldn't want what he did to the people of Medina to happen to my daughter. Oh, thank God we have Harun who can put this guy in prison. I mean, Harun did a fantastic job. That's what they're saying. No, they like the Imam. Which Imam? The Imam that you say himself says nobody knows who he is? He heard them say nothing but good stuff. He came to know that they love him. The Imam that they love here is Harun. Want him to undertake their affairs. Sure. The people wanted the Musa to come and rape their kids. Sure. And after craving the power, the malice moved him to kill the Imam. No, it was the literature that your Imam was smuggling out. Harun found out, and Harun said to him, listen, I told you before I throw you in prison, I don't want you to do any more mischief. Now that you're in prison and you're trying to smuggle out the same crimes you were trying to commit while you were out of prison, well, now you've given me no choice but to kill you. His hating the Alawi. Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, children around the world, gather around. Listen, all Muslims hate the Alawis. Alawis are a part of the Shias, but the Shia hate the Alawi, and the Shia until today, with the Ithna Ashari being the biggest group, they all believe that the Alawis are not Muslim because the Alawis believe that Jibreel, the archangel, they call him Gabriel here, Jibreel made a mistake between a 54-year-old man and a 7-year-old boy, and he gave the prophecy title to a 54-year-old man named Qata Muhammad, and he didn't give it to Ali ibn Abi Talib. Hence, the Alawis, they have secret books that they don't share with anybody, unless you're one of them. And they believe in their own ideology, and they think that Ali is like God, literally, like he's right there, There ain't too much of a difference between God and Ali. Because of it, the Shia say they're not Muslim, and the Sunnis say they're not Muslim, and nobody seems to agree with them except for they themselves. The president of Syria today, the Assad regime, they are all Alawis. Most of the Alawis tend to live in Syria. and some of them live in Turkey. We barely have any that are in Iran. But they all hate them. They say these guys are not Muslim, and if you find them, you're going to kill them. So now, all of a sudden, the crime that all the Muslims around the world are doing against the Alawites, all of a sudden became a crime for Harun al-Rashid. So he's not doing a crime. He's doing the same thing as the rest of you. His hatred for the Alawites. Harun's soul was filled with hatred towards the Alawites. Just like you. You have the same hate for the Alawites. That's why you don't have any in Iran, you don't have any in Pakistan, you don't have any in Bangladesh, you don't have any in Indonesia, Malaysia, you don't have them in any of the African countries that have Muslims living in it. You don't have them in Saudi, you don't have them in any of these places. Because when they were there, they were being killed, massacred. It is worth mentioning that his forefathers severely punished the Alamites. Who were his forefathers? His forefathers were not in power. These guys just came in power. His forefathers was Abbas, the uncle of the Prophet. And if Abbas was punishing them, it's because Muhammad was doing it. Muhammad was doing it because he told Ali to do it. Ali was doing it during his time. He found these guys that worshiped him, and he was like, no, we got to kill them because, you're supposed to worship Muhammad, not me. I mean, the guy, they say his name in the prayer, when they're trying to worship God and they're worshiping of God, they have to mention beside God, Muhammad's name. And then they tell you they're not worshiping Muhammad. Of course you're worshiping Muhammad. You worship him more than you worship anything else. As for Harun, he suppressed his forefathers in exhausting. He surpassed them in exhausting the Alawites. He buried them alive. Ooh, he buried them alive. He spread among their houses orphanshood and mourning and sadness. Ooh. I mean, the rest of you have been doing that until today. What's new? What's different between what you're saying he's doing and what you guys did until today? I mean, you committed a genocide on anyone who says they believe in this. ISIS came in and he was killing the Syrians on the crime of Alawis. He was killing the non-Alawis with the Alawis. It's just the same. Kill them all. Well, what's the difference? Mullahs have not shown us anything that this guy did that was evil. According to what they say this guy did that's evil, they're doing that until today themselves. Where's the evilness? I mean, if you can do it, why is it good when you do it, but it's bad when he did it? It should be bad all the way around, or it should be good all the way around. Used all his ability to destroy them, just like you guys did today. He arrested them in Baghdad, prevented the people from visiting them, deprived them of their natural rights. Genocide. Harun was very displeased when he saw Musa, head the master of the Alawites. Musa was the head and master of the Alawites? Are you sure? Because he's the head of the Shia Itna Asharis, not the Alawites. Ladies and gentlemen, Musa al-Kazim turned out to be an Alawi. He's not a Shia Itna Ashari anymore, let alone be their Imam. The mullahs just shot themselves in the foot. Because if he's the head and master of the Alawis, that means his children have to be the Imams of the Alawis. That means the Imamat for the Shias must end now at number 6. So they're missing a whole entire 6 more Imams to create their 12th. Mullahs can't count, they count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's count again. We're trying to count to 12 if you're trying to figure out what we're doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, they're Arabs, of course. They don't know how to count. Then they tell you that they came up with mathematics. Then they tell you that they came up with the zero. Then they tell you that they came up with algebra. Then they tell you all these other things, and they say, you see, it's in Arabic. It's an Arabic word. It's an Arabic word. They don't tell you the guy who made it was an Iranian, and you forced him to speak Arabic because you came in and you plundered his country. You banned them to speak their own language. And for 600 years, they weren't allowed to even speak their own language. They somehow kept the language alive verbally, but they lost over 600 years how to write it in its own language. And then they had to use Arabic lettering and add it to the Arabic lettering to create a new lettering system for the Persian language. You don't tell them that part. Huh? You don't say how you forced everyone to have an Arabic name that's continued until today. You don't tell people that part. Oh, we had the Muslim scientists. You don't tell them that 99% of those Muslim scientists happen to be Iranians. They're Persian. And then every Tom, Dick, and Harry wants to steal them. I mean, Rumi was born in Iran. Then he traveled like the rest of us, and he died in Turkey. Oh, he's Turkish now. What? How did Rumi become a Turk? Where was he born? Oh, Iran. It's like somebody was born in Timbuktu, West Africa, and then he traveled over to Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and somehow you say he's a Canadian, and the guy never even applied for citizenship. He came over there and he died. Like he came there, 2 days later he died. Oh yeah, he's Canadian now. What? The guy was born in Timbuktu. He died before he can even apply for citizenship. He became Canadian now? Are you sure? I doubt it. I don't think he even will learn how to speak French. No, just kidding. In Timbuktu, they speak French because, you know, the French decided to come and overtake the people over there. They slaved a whole bunch of them. They took over the whole entire Western Africa, all the way down to Central Africa. I mean, the French, they did the Africans dirty like they did the Iranians dirty. Two countries, the French and the English, did so much damage on the continent of Asia, the whole of Asia, from China all the way to the Middle East. And then they continued it throughout Africa. In these two countries. The third being Russia. Russia couldn't conquer any land like the rest of them, but they influenced from behind the scenes, creating governments that will kill their own people so that the countries don't get ahead. The three of them are known for that. But back to the story here. Informing against him. Some people sold their quintessence of religion. They were void of humanity, so they informed Harun against him. And they might flatter him through that. I mean, the guy who writes this thinks that Musa was an Alawi. He doesn't even understand what he's writing about. But yet he's saying that the people follow them, like as if the people were majority Alawi. The Alawis have always been the minority of the minority. Always. 90%, okay, we'll be very merciful, okay? We'll be very merciful. Very. 80% of the Muslim world is Sunni. 20% is Shia. Out of the Shia, the Alawi are the smallest of the groups. And this guy, he's trying to tell us that the whole Muslim community was saying how this guy that's representing the smallest group out of the smallest groups is more worthy of leading the whole country as a Muslim. What? And this guy obviously doesn't get it. The whole entire reason why Musa al-Kazim's great grandfather Hussein was killed, according to the Shias, is because the Sunnis and the Shias were at war over who should be leading. Huh? And the Shias are only 20% at the best merciful way of looking at them. In reality, they're 10%. But but we're not talking about reality here. We're talking like be very merciful, give them lots of padding, make them bigger than they are. So we added another 10%, give them a big buffer zone, make them look like they're somebody. They were void of humanity. They informed Harun against him. Ooh, the people told him, man, this guy's crazy, man. You got to do something about this. This Musa guy, he's crazy. He's crazy from behind the bars, man. We were terrified of this guy. Do something about him. And what if he escapes? Who's going to get him then? Islam and Muslims have been afflicted with such people. I mean, they've been afflicted. I mean, they've been afflicted. Like who afflicted them? They themselves. Islam and the Muslims have been afflicted. He says it like as if the Islam and the Muslims have been invaded. It doesn't say that they were the invaders. They invaded. I mean, it wasn't like the Persians came and invaded a bunch of Muslim land and took it over. It was the Muslims who invaded Persia and started committing genocide. It was the Muslims who invaded Judea and they destroyed and dismantled and killed everybody, including those that the Judea was giving them land to live inside Judea, known as the Phoenicians, who are the Palestinians, who were completely annihilated, destroyed. Every single last one of them, including their pets, were killed. Today, you don't have Palestinians anymore. You have Arabs pretending to be Palestinians. The Palestinians came from the island of Crete, from Greece. They look like your normal Greek guy. Go and pick a Greek guy out of a lineup, and that's what a real Palestinian looks like. He looks like a Greek because they are Greeks. The Greeks that moved down to the territory of the mountains of Palestine in Judea. It was the Arabs that attacked and destroyed the people of Egypt. And everywhere they go, they put their own name on it. The Arab Republic of Egypt, the Arab Republic of Syria, the Arab Republic of Iraq, the Arab Republic of this and that and this and that and this and that. They're all Arab. They themselves say it to you. Now they tell you they're the Palestinian Arab because they're all Arab. I mean, the first president they had, Yasser Arafat, was born and raised and became an adult living in Egypt. An Egyptian became the first president of Palestine. They didn't even have their own. I mean, there was nobody there. And now they tell you, oh, Palestinian. Oh, yeah, we're Palestinian. No, you're not Palestinian. You're an Arab. You're an Arab. You came there from Saudi. How do we know you came there from Saudi? Because the British and the English, after World War II, they carved the land that belonged to Iran. They carved the land that should have been old Judea. They carved the land of the Assyrians and the Babylonians, which was under the hand of Iran for thousands of years, since the Babylonians dismantled the Assyrians and the Babylonians themselves got dismantled by the Iranians. And they made new countries out of it. And they brought out the Hashemites from the city of Mecca, and they pushed them into Jordan. And they pushed some of their family members into Syria. That's how you got the Alawites. And then they pushed some of them into Iraq. They just push them here. You go here, you go there, you go here. They put their court jester puppets in place. And then they start taking their oil. And that's what the French and the British did. They say that the Lebanese side is the French side. The other side is the English side. And because of this, England won't interfere in Africa so that the French can be in Africa for as long as they want to be. And then eventually they had to be kicked out of every single region. But they left their mark in Africa. The language of French is spoken all over now. From Congo all the way down to Morocco, and further south going down throughout the western part of Africa. They all have to speak French because the French were there. The mullah lives today and he saw this by the English and the French. He said, always you had these problems. They were always afraid. No, it was you who was doing it first. It was you who ran the Jew out of his own country and pushed him into Europe. And now he's coming back home, and you say, oh, the Europeans are coming here. Oh, the Europeans are coming here. They're not Jew. No, these are not Jew. They are European. Well, yeah, he lived in Europe because of you. You ran him out. Now he's coming home. It's his home. You're the invader, not him. He's returning home. You invaded his house. That's why he ran out. You forced the people to become Muslim. Jizya, you have to collect the jizya until the person can't afford to give you jizya no more. The person says, okay, fine, I'm a Muslim now. I don't have to give you jizya now. And then after him, his old descendants, they all become Muslim. And then you think that you were afflicted? And because of that, you had tyranny and corruption on you. You were the tyranny and the corruption on the people. You, the Muslim Arabs, you were the corruption. Until today, you do that. Until today, in Arab countries, like Saudi, like UAE, Qatar, Jordan, and the rest, if they have money, rich Arab countries until today, they buy and sell slaves. They get the Africans, they get the African girls to come underage. They fix the passport for them. When they get into the country, take the passport away. Now you don't have your passport anymore. Then they abuse them, rape them, do whatever they want with them. And when they're done, they go on their social media apps and they sell them. They sell them under the name Haywan, which in Arabic means animal. We're selling an animal. Come buy the animal. Which social media app is going to stop you from selling animals? Huh? Many people sell cats and dogs and sheep and you name it. It's all animals. They sell human beings as animal until today. Until today, they sell them as animal. And they hold on to the passport. And they keep selling the same person over and over and over and over and over and over You sell the person 30 times. Who knows where this person's passport was? And if they try to escape, they go to the police. Police will say, show me your ID. Where's the ID? This poor girl no longer has an ID. ID was stripped of her. She doesn't have her passport. She doesn't have an ID from the country. So she will be put in prison for sneaking into the country. They won't ask her who snuck you in. No. We don't ask you that because we already know. But we're going to put the crime on you. You snuck in. Her family's going to find out where she is? No, they're not going to find out. It's not like when she got to the house that she was going to work in, she picked up the phone and called mommy and daddy and said, hi, my address is, no. You think they keep her in the house? You people don't know. They create a little barn. In desert country, they create a little barn. And when they come here to the West, they tell you, yeah, we have some cows. You have cows in Saudi Arabia? What are your cows eating? Sand? I mean, cow. It's a 5, 6, 7, 800-pound animal that eats and drinks and what are you giving him in the middle of a Saudi? Huh? With all your deserted weather where it barely rains, no grass grows. What are you feeding a cow? The cow is a human being. They're calling the human being a cow. They create like a barn and they bring in some hay and throw it in the barn. And the person has to sleep on that. The person being in Africa. And then they come and they say, well, we got a barn, we got livestock, we got cows, we got donkeys, we got horses, we got sheep and goats, and what are they eating? These criminals informed Harun against the Imam. Go where you say. The criminals, of course, the criminals in the prison, they were telling them, this is the only time the Imam, these guys, these mullahs, they're writing something. The criminals were coming and they were telling the guards, man, this Musa al-Kazim is something else. Save us from this guy. He's a monster, man. He's trying to do bad stuff outside from inside here. I mean, he's got ways. He's figuring out how to get his message out there and create more problems. You got to deal with this guy. He's crazy. Collecting money from him, for him. Some wicked people went to Harun and informed him that a lot of money was collected for Musa. They're wicked. They're wicked because they said Musa is still doing his money laundering schemes from inside the prison. They're wicked for pointing it out. Everywhere else around the world, they would say, these guys are good people. They're pointing out the bad. They informed them that the Imam bought a country estate called al-Bisaria for 30,000 dinars. Remember when he was in court sitting on the carpet, he was saying, I just got my money. I can't marry the girls out. I can't marry the boys out. I don't have money. Remember? I'm poor. I'm a poor man. I'm a poor man. Now he's collecting money from inside the prison and he's buying states. Not mansions, states. You know, you got land upon land upon land with a good house. For 30,000 dinar. Where did you get 30,000 dinar? People are giving you money. Huh? What are you giving back for that? I mean, people are giving you money. They're raising money for you. What are you giving back? Nothing. You took their money with a promise that you were going to give them something. And then you turned around and you took the 30,000 dinar. You invested it in a land for yourself. And then when the people will ask, you say, I don't got no more money. The money's gone. The money's gone. Gone. It's finished. Gone. Someone robbed me. People won't know you bought land. How is someone in Khorasan going to know you bought land when you're somewhere in Baghdad? Samaria. Because, I mean, all of their family members are in these type of cities. Money laundry schemes. Eat people's money and then don't pay them. And then who are the people that are coming and complaining that this guy is raising money? The people whose money got eaten are the ones that are coming up and saying, hey, you know what? Let me tell you what happened, man. Let me tell you what happened. He raised money, and then the money I gave him, he said he would help me out, and he invested it in a house and state, and I now lost my money. That's how Harun's finding out. Harun was moved, hidden rage and malice. Harun got angry. He's like, God damn it, this guy. He's doing it from inside the prison. I mean, I put him there so we can get rid of this problem, so that he wouldn't do this. Of course, he's upset. He has the right to be upset. This is because he followed a certain policy to make Alavis poor. Of course, when your Alavis are scheming and plotting and plundering and robbing people in bright daylight, he has to make you poor. He has to take the money back from you and give it back to the people that you stole it from. You bunch of thieves. Mullahs are all thieves. Imposing on them economic siege. Of course, I mean, when you're making your money by robbing people, we got to take the money back from you. That puts an economic siege on you so that you will stop doing mischievous things. Maybe you should start living a good life, a righteous life, a life where you pull up your sleeves and you go out and you start working. This can simply be concluded from his answers to his son, Al-Ma'mun. Ooh, he told his son, man, crack down on these people. Their poverty is more lovable to me than their riches. Of course, their riches is by them committing crimes against people. Their poverty means they don't commit crimes on people. I would love their poverty too, because at least we know the people are safe. Ibn al-Sabah believed that this informing was among the reasons that moved Harun to imprison Musa. Yes, Ibn Sabah is right. He's right in the sense that because Musa did so much of this, he was thrown in prison and he was still doing it from inside prison. But mullahs will come and twist it around, twist it around. They will try to give it a twist. Because, you know, mullahs give twists to everything. Is seeking the Caliphate since its dawn. The Islamic society has been inflicted with a group of those who sell their coincidence. Blah, 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 blah. All the same stupid stuff. He just writes the same things over and over. Saying the same garbage. I mean, we've been reading 3 pages of the same garbage. They got to say this garbage to a Muslim who's reading it because they need to brainwash the Muslim. Repetition, saying the same thing, you'll eventually get it in their head and they'll eventually start to believe it because they'll think that the mullah won't lie to me. They won't say that the mullah is the first one who's going to lie to you. History of Islam is full of acts of those destructive people. I agree with you. From your Qatam Muhammad down, you were all destructive people. I mean, he was the caravan robber. He was the leader of the caravan robber. Umar and Abu Bakr and, Uthman and all those guys were part of the army of caravan robbing. That is what you were known for. Like the movies in the Wild Wild West when they tried to rob a caravan. That was Qatam Muhammad during his lifetime. That's how he built his money. That's how he got his goods. That's how he got his drinks, the Nabid. The alcoholic Muhammad was robbing caravan and he wouldn't do it himself. No, he used to chicken. It was cowardless like Musa. He had to send the people, you go and do it, you go and do it. And then when it was time to collect the booty, I mean, the Shia Muslim will tell you, Ali is such a great fighter. He was brave. No. Ali ibn Abi Talib was a coward. Ali ibn Abi Talib would show up when the battle is finished. And when you've already given up, and the people you're trying to kill put up their hands like this and say, I give up, I give up. At that point, two people would show up, Umar bin Khattab and Ali ibn Abi Talib. Umar bin Khattab and Ali ibn Abi Talib would take turns tying the people up and cutting their heads. Why? Because they wanted to make it look like they killed a lot of people in battle. And then they would untie their arm. And the mullahs will tell you, Ali ibn Abi Talib, he swung his sword once and he killed 750 people in one shot. I mean, how big was his sword? To kill so many people, your sword should be as long as the city is wide. You know, no, how did he do it? They tied up the Jewish people that they attacked, and he just stood there and slaughtered head after head after head after head after head until he reached 750. Coward. When the person's already tied up like this, and you tie him with a rope and he can't do nothing, then you come to cut his head. Why didn't you cut his head when you were in battle? No, Ali and Omar cannot go into the battle. They will stay outside. They will pretend like they're the general of the battle, and they send the army in there. You go and fight. You go and fight. You go and fight, you know. Even afterwards in the battles of the Safin, Ali ibn Abi Talib didn't go in the battlefield. He sent his son Hassan, you go and fight. And then when Hassan got tired, he sent Hussein, you go and fight. Then he sent Abbas, you go and fight. You know, he sent all his sons, Muhammad and Abu Bakr, and you go, you go, you go. And of course, when they go, they don't go in there to fight by themselves. They take a part of the unit of the army to defend him. So he'll be in the middle of them. So they can't hit him. They'll hit those people. And from in there, he'll order them, okay, let's attack these guys. Okay, let's attack that guy. They find odd people out from outskirt of the army and they attack. And then the Muslim mullah will tell you, no, they did so good. Bunch of cowardice people. Yep. That is the history. That is the history that they're talking about. Such people tortured and harmed Muslims very much. I agree with you. The mullahs who believe in these imams of the family of the Prophet, they harmed a lot of Muslims. They created internal wars left, right, and center from the time that their Ghatam Muhammad died. These Ahl al-Bayt, so-called imams, every single one of them was involved in either creating a war or putting the foundation down for the one to follow him to create that war. Ali did it in Safin and Marwan and many other places. Hassan put the foundation down when he noticed that he would be killed by Muawiyah. Hussein went to war with Yazid and created a massacre of his own people. Many of them ran away before the war started because they knew what was up. Ali Zain al-Abidin put down a foundation. Muhammad Baqir continued that foundation. Jafar al-Sadiq continued that foundation. Musa al-Kazim committed the war. Every single one of you is involved in it. They threw fuel. How did they do it? The Bani Abbasid were fighting from the time of Muhammad al-Baqir and Jafar al-Sadiq. And who was behind it? They were there. Remember the letters that they sent to Jafar al-Sadiq? Hey, we've attacked this place. We're taking booty. And Jafar al-Sadiq was like, no, no, no. 100% of the booties come to me. Come on, bring it home. Bring it home to me. I get everything. You went and died, but I collected all. Come on, bring it home. You remember that? That was this guy's father. Were it not for them, the supreme authority was unable to do oppression and tyranny. Yes, if it wasn't for your Ahlul Bayt Imams, there wouldn't be any oppression, there wouldn't be any tyranny, but you guys continuously create tyranny. You're monsters on earth. A group such as people informed Harun against Imam Musa. Oh, a group. They're the group that weren't affected by your Musa. They kindled rancor in his heart against and exhausted hidden malice against him. Yeah, because they were upset. They were like, we trusted you, we gave you our money. But instead of you giving us what we asked for, you decided to buy a state and throw our money away. Now we can't get it back from you. So now we have hatred for you. That's true. That's true. That's very true. That's exactly how it goes. You go anywhere in the world, that's how they do it. And they said to him, ooh, they said to him, ooh, you know, everything's like that. They said this, they said that, they did that, they said this, they said this, they did that, this. They wrote letters to him. All the Muslim countries summoned all the Muslim countries to all, look, to all the Muslim countries. They said to him, there was only one. In that day, it was an empire. They just took over. They didn't even give their country a name. They weren't civilized enough as the countries of the time to come up with a name for their country. They invaded Persia. They invaded Egypt. They invaded Judea. They invaded Byzantine. They invaded a bunch of other places. They couldn't come up with a name for the place that they're now governing over. Yet the mullah here, this retard who wrote this thing, will tell you all Muslim countries, like all 54 of today's Muslim countries, that's how you know they lie. We catch them in their lies. All of them are writing this guy letters? Are you sure? These countries didn't exist. You didn't have a country called Nigeria. You didn't have a country called Jordan. You didn't have a country called Qatar. You didn't have a country called Bahrain. You didn't have a country called Iraq. You didn't have a country called Kuwait. You didn't have a country called Saudi Arabia. For God's sakes, even Saudi Arabia did not exist. It was called Arabia. And now you have all the Muslim countries. All. They were all writing, the kings of each of these countries. Salamun alaykum. I am writing this letter to you. Let you know, as the leader of the Arabs of Saudi Arabia, my name is MBS. I am letting you know that I think you should come over here and become my king. I will give the position to you. Are we sure that they were writing him this letter? All of them. All of them. Ladies and gentlemen, we will end the 24th part in English here. I want to remind you that there is a lady by the name of Mahbouba Hosseinipour. She's been fighting against the Islamic regime for a very, very long time. She lost a brother in that war of fighting against the Islamic Republic of Iran. Her husband was poisoned by them. They're elderly now. They're aged, they're set in their age. They live in California, where the prices of everything is high. She has to constantly take her husband to hospital and bring her back and take her to doctor appointments and stuff of that nature. She's like the full-time caregiver of her husband. So she can't go out and work or do anything outside of the house because she has to be there for him. He's almost like in a vegetable type state. It's a terrible situation. She has a GoFundMe account and she's trying to get a car so that it'll be easier for her, like a minivan type, so that she can put her husband in it and transfer him to the hospital so that they can get there relatively on time instead of having to wait for an Uber and especially a minivan type Uber, and then make sure that that minivan they can put the seats down so they can lay the husband in there. It's a lot of work because hospitals, like if you go with an ambulance, they charge you, and it's not like she has a lot of money that she can spend on that kind of stuff. So what we did is in my link tree, if you click on the link tree link that I have for you underneath the program, and it takes you to my link tree website. Once you're there, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will find the link for her in that area. And then there you can try to help her out. You can give her whatever you feel you can help her with. Give her whatever. But after you donate to her, please also share that link out to the people you know. Put it in your social media. Ask them to help her out and also to share the link out. The more people will find out about it, the better that we can help her out. So let's all of us put our hands together and see what we can do. And if there is something you can do, if you can't, I understand. Times are rough. But if there is something you can do to help her out, please do so. She definitely needs your help. And hopefully we can make a prayer at least. Make a prayer if you can't do anything else. Ask Jesus to help her out, make this goal go through, make her successful in it, so that we can all have a small role of helping this lady out. So until our next program in English, I leave you all in the hands of Jesus. God bless all of you. Bye for now.